Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Hope you're all doing well. My name is Siyeon and today I will be sharing with you my thoughts on Dreamcatcher's second full-length album called Apocalypse Save Us. And we have here 14 tracks, and in this album it is actually the first time that Dreamcatcher has released solos for its members, and they actually have participated in the writing and the composing of their own solos, which is so freaking cool. From the 14 tracks, we have Intro, Save Us, Locked Inside a Door, Maison, which is a title track. Then we have Starlight, Together, Always, Skit, The Seven Doors, and then we have the solos being Cherry, Real Miracle, that is Gio's solo. Then we have No Doubt, Sua's solo, Entrancing, Siyeon solo, Winter, that is Handong solo, 4, which is Yoohyeon solo. Then we have the two last songs being Beautiful, that is Dami's solo, and the last one is Playground by Gahyeon. So now that we mentioned it all, let's jump right into it and talk about all the songs on this album. If you see me looking down, it's because I wrote down all of my notes on this album, which is a lot, really a lot. We have a bunch of songs, and knowing that this is their second full-length album, it is actually the beginning of a new series, the Apocalypse series. We had the Dystopia series, especially with their first full-length album that is, in my opinion, still to this day, one of the best albums that I've listened in the K-pop world. It is very coherent, it makes a lot of sense, it is really enjoyable. Despite having a lot of songs, you never get bored of it. It's still a fantastic album. I'll put the review of it that I did a few years back when it was released in the description down below if you want to check that out. But honestly, if you have not listened to that album already because you just joined the Insomnia Club, can go check it out because it is a fantastic album. For this album, Dreamcatcher has always been known for being able to play really well with the horror creepy concept, and here I think they've done it once more beautifully, and even more so because the topic at hand is a very relatable. The overall vibe, mainly for the title track, is about the sort of cry for help in this world crisis we're living in, especially regarding the environment, how we have to do something now before it's too late. And I find it really cool that Dreamcatcher is utilizing their platform to talk about subjects like that, and it's really not that common, if ever, in the K-pop world and in pop in general, sometimes in pop in general, but it is a first for me to see a K-pop group talk about that, so I find it to be so freaking cool, but I will be talking more in depth about it when I talk about the title track in particular. Let's talk about the songs, the first of which is Intro, Save Us. With all the mini albums and albums released by Dreamcatcher, they always have intros, and this one is no exception to that, and it always is like an instrumental intro that sets really well the mood for the entirety of this album and what we can expect from it. This one has a sort of two-parter. The first one is very gloomy, very dark, very mysterious, and already you feel like, okay, it's going to be depressing. Oh my god, it's going to be depressing as hell. But then you have the second part of this intro that is much more like on the funkier side. It's like funky rock still, it's pretty hard, but it makes it really well. It really feels like the intro is sort of setting the mood and how the album is split into two very different vibes, and that I enjoy a whole lot. The second one is Locked Inside a Door. And this one is really interesting because it definitely has a little bit of like this rock funky vibe going on, and I did really enjoy it right away. And I can definitely see this song being a contender for title track, even though Maison, that we will be talking about afterwards, is a very strong song. Locked Inside the Door is really neat as well, as during this song they are sort of explaining their frustrations and how they feel like they are stuck inside a door and they find no way out, and they And even if they found a way out, they don't really know why they want to come out the other side. They don't really have a good enough reason anymore. And I find that to be really, really interesting. They actually say, my emotions have been erased. I feel like a doll. There's no place to hide in this space. The tip of the arrow is aimed towards me. Today the night is even more lonely. It's filled with shadows. Those words turn into arrows, my form turns into a target. Let it flow as if you're throwing water away. You know, just like everyone wants, I'm locked right here, just like a screw that just happens to be stuck in the wall. It's quite cramped. My head touches the ceiling because there's no profit to pierce it through. And here I do think that they really are talking about all of those frustrations of seeing all the problems around them and becoming sort of the target for it all, and how those words turn into arrows and hurt them really badly. But at the same time, they just don't know how to get away from it. They feel stuck, and that can be somehow related to the message that we have here for the song or for the album with Apocalypse Save Us, and how they really look at the environmental crisis we're living in, and they feel like with everything that's going on, with all that information, and they feel very powerless and not knowing what to do and feeling stuck. And that I enjoy, and I think that no matter at what stage of your life you're in now, you can sort of relate to that a whole lot, of feeling stuck and not knowing what to do. Overall, however, when it comes to the song, in spite of all of its message, and perhaps I'm completely wrong when it comes to the message of it, I do really like this track. It is super playful because the song overall is really upbeat, but then when it comes to the pre-chorus, it sort of slows it down a little bit. So it has a lot of dynamics, and it's not a one-note song all throughout it. Dami's rap is really cool. It's a little bit more laid back as well compared to some other rap verses, and it is followed by Handong's pre-chorus that I was just talking about that slows it down a little bit. And for the second pre-chorus, Yoohyeon adds in the ad-libs, and it is very lightweight and very refreshing the way she does that, those sections. And the chorus is extremely catchy, and overall it is a really nice song in my opinion. Then we have the title track, Maison. This track, Maison, it actually stands for house in French, and in it they are asking, or actually having a cry for help, and asking us to save our home, being planet Earth. And I found that to be such a nice message, and one that we don't see a lot. Why don't we actually pay attention to what we're doing? Why don't we break away from our bad habits whilst there's still time to save our planet? And actually Dami's rap is really focused on that, and especially as this message is in a very like hard hitting track. It is really badass. They really have this rock influence in it, which is common with Dreamcatcher's title tracks, and they go really hard for it. And I found that to be even more interesting because it's not just a mellow ballad talking about all of those problems. No, they go hard for it, and it's like there's no time left to joke around or be melodramatic. No, let's just talk about it all. The MV also really conveys all of those messages, as from what I've got from watching the MV countless times, they are actually like goddesses, and they are in this very beautiful heaven. And then Gahyeon sends the members to Earth to do something about it and to try to save it from evil. And so we see them all looking very badass. It's very like CGI heavy. It's really well done. They look like superheroes, and they are here to fight evil. And all of the members have their missions, but I think Gahyeon is still the one that is sort of controlling everything, as she stood in their heaven palace thing, and all of the others are fighting evil as they can. And like we have Handong playing with the portals, and then we have Sua going to fight the evil goat thing demon and she has that jump onto the huge table in slow motion with the hair blowing and everything. It looks really neat, and then she just explodes that evil demon and it looks really, really nice. All of them look stunning throughout the MV, and I think the story is really well done. But unfortunately, despite having thought that they had beaten the evil goat, they failed. And actually, the evil conquers also their palace. What had destroyed Earth destroy their palace as well. As we see for the second chorus, they are dancing and there's like a bunch of like that green thing destroying their heaven as well, which is really unfortunate. And they tried, but at the end, everything is corrupted, and what happened to Earth happens to their heaven place as well. It is a very like pessimistic version of it, but I sort of can understand it, and how we have like the post-apocalyptical cities. When it comes to the performance, I did really enjoy the choreo. It's really intense as well, as to be expected from a Dreamcatcher track. I did really enjoy it. I love how they changed the formations for the chorus. For the first one and second one, it's not the same, not exactly, like the key moves are the same, but the formation of it, it's different. I love the breakdown of the song and how it is played with the choreo as well. Just the breakdown was so nice, and then at the end it's very dramatic with the choreo, I don't know how you say it, and there's the responses with the members singing, and with the repetition of the please someone fight for us, which is very like and it's very dramatic, and I think it is something that is really appropriate to the song's message, and it feels like they are running out of time and they have to do something now, and I think it was really well done. Then we have Starlight, and this one is also one of my favorite songs from this album. And I think it could have been also a contender for title track, even though it doesn't have the same vibe. As for title tracks, they tend to play with the rock influences and heavy metal sounds. Starlight is definitely this synth retro pop blend, and it takes a much hopeful approach to the overall message. It feels almost like, okay, we were very dramatic with their previous songs, and now they sort of can see the good way of it. They paint this night scenery with all the stars and compare it like to their memories, and how they can still have a bright future ahead if they, not if they change, but it goes in that direction of there's still hope, and I enjoy that, and sometimes you need, because otherwise it's going to be a pretty bleak approach to life. Saying even this starry night, it shines on the path we've been walking on. It's calm, but it's definitely shining bright, like the times we spent together. It's very, very, very hopeful track. So Starlight for me is definitely one of my favorite tracks from this album. I love the optimistic approach to it. I love their vocals. They pull it off really, really well. The blend of synths is so nicely done, and it really goes to show the versatility of the members of Dreamcatcher. The next one together is another favorite of mine, and it is a dance pop track. And the way they pull it off is so freaking nice. Definitely continues the same vibe that we started with Starlight, and I think it definitely has this very like lovely optimistic approach to it. It is a dance pop track, so of course with that genre it definitely conveys that message pretty well. For this song in particular, they are just showcasing this very like optimistic approach to the future, and how if they are together they can do it all. Saying for the pre-chorus and the chorus. I miss you very much. The sand is getting stronger. Can we see each other again? Don't go too far. Stop right there. Then every moment we'll be together. I hope to see the distant sky. Oh, shooting star, get together. Before the long night passes, the initial excitement I forgot. It is very bright, very confident, and it paints a really optimistic and confident picture of the future. I don't know why, but it definitely got a little bit of like Ice One vibes in terms of the styling of the song. It is something that I was not expecting for Dreamcatcher, even though they do experiment a lot with their B-sides, but still, I was not expecting it to go into that way, into that extent. The next song, Always, is the first ballad of this album. And it is a very warm, heartwarming ballad, very sweet, loving, and it actually dwells on the miracle of having someone very precious to you. And it can be seen as someone, or perhaps even the fans, or even perhaps planet Earth, as it is the theme overall of the album, talking about the apocalypse and saving us and all of that. So I think it can also be seen in that way. For the chorus, they say, to hold you beside me, it's a pure miracle. In your eyes, I imagine the universe. You are the one I can hold on to you. It's like a dream come true. You always touch my heart. So as seen here with those lyrics, it is indeed a very sweet and loving track. It is stunning, their vocals with the piano. They are really at ease with their lower register, and it really shows it here as well. With all of that in mind, it makes it for a very emotional and very like a lovely song, and it is a nice break after like the pessimism and then the optimism about our future to have just something that is so sweet. Siyeon's high note is really stunning, the crescendo for the bridge as well, and they actually performed this song live alongside Maison, if I'm not mistaken, and I did really enjoy to see their performance of it. So now we have reached the halfway point of this album with Skit the Seven Doors. This serves as like an intro for the second part of the album with all of the members' solos. And I do think that it was a clever way to just take a break, introduce a new vibe, and then have all the solos. Especially as for every single one of the members' solos, they decided to go in various directions musically. This intro is very different compared to the first one. It has this sort of anime feeling to it. It is sad but still has a hint of hope to it, and overall I did really enjoy it. It wasn't like having something that breaks the rhythm of the album, not at all. And also with it, I do really feel like this album could have been like 2 mini albums, but I do understand having a mini album full of solos wouldn't make that much sense. And normally with other groups, whenever they decide to give the members solos or unit songs, they always have a full-length album in order to have a good amount of songs with all of the members and a good amount of songs for the solos actually. So because they are 7 members, 7 solos, it's pretty long, so it's best to have it in an album, a full-length album. But we can clearly see how they combine the two of them together, having like the Save Us part and then having the 7 Doors part coming together, being the Apocalypse Save Us. I thought it was a really nice transition to move on to the solos. The first of which is Cherry, Real Miracle, that is Jiu's solo. As the members wrote their own solos, actually co-wrote and co-composed them, I was wondering what this song was all about, as it is like Cherry, Real Miracle. And as I was reading the lyrics, I thought it was just a very lovable, very refreshing, romantic song. And it is, but it is actually about Jiu's dog that is called Cherry, and I thought that to be so freaking nice. This song is a very city pop, bubbly track. I love the performance of it, and even her outfit and the backup dancers' outfits were really nice, really beautiful, and so I did really enjoy the performance of it. In the song, she says, "Real miracle, it's too much that I can't even imagine. Very big happiness, real miracle, the wind that's slightly passing by, we made eye contact." As seen here, it is a very lovable, very refreshing track with a very catchy melody and a super groovy bass, which makes it for a very enjoyable track. Very like city pop. City pop is the best description of it, like definitely a city pop track. As the polar opposite of that release, we have No Doubt by Suwa. And for this one, I did check out the live performance of it as well. And well, she goes hard for this track, not only in terms of the song that she put out, but also the performance. Like, oh my god, it looks stunning. So this track, she blends like rap, trap, hip hop, and rock, and there's a lot of different influences of all of those genres, and oh my god, it's so freaking good. At first I was a little bit, ooh, I don't know if I will like it, and I think not a lot of people will enjoy this song right away, but oh my god, it's great. Like, it hits you so freaking hard. She raps in this song and makes it sound like so effortless, the way she switches from singing to rapping. It is a much lower tone song in my opinion, and she has a very nice lower register, so she pulls it off really well. The guitar melody for the chorus is really like captivating. It just grabs your attention right away, and also very mysterious. And I think it is a vibe that Suwa pulls off really, really well. There's also a break at the end that is like the explosion of the song, and I freaking love it. And all of those elements coming together makes it for a very, very confident and upbeat solo that I deeply enjoy. And the badassery does not end in terms of the instrumental and her vocals, but also in the lyrics, as she says, "With those sharp thorns that you used to hurt me, I'm not hurt at all. Don't hate me anymore, even if they all disappeared, even if I can't go back, even if everything is broken, I just want you to stay." The lyrics are very confident, very bold and straightforward, and she's like, okay, you can try to hurt me. You can try it. You can do it all, but it won't work, and at the end, I just want you to be with me and just leave the rest behind. And it's just like, wow. I still don't know what no dot means. I actually looked it up in Google and the Urban Dictionary, but I couldn't find it out. So if you know, can you tell me in the comments below, please? Perhaps I would understand the song a little bit better, but I still know that it's confident AF, so I think I know most of it. So another very different song is the next solo that is entrancing, and it is Siyeon's solo. For this song, we have here right away, right from the very first few seconds of the song, this very like Korean traditional fairy tale OST going on, and she sets the mood for it so freaking well. You are taken right away into this very magical land, magical world, and you feel like it is the OST for Joseon era K-drama, and the way she just portrays the song, interprets the song and everything is so well done. It's a wonderful song, and I was not expecting this from Siyeon. I was definitely expecting like an OST ballad-esque with like powerful vocals and all of that. Definitely have powerful vocals here, but it's more on the airy style, It's very like magical, very fairy tale like, and that I enjoy a whole lot. With all of those like traditional Korean elements, the flute, the piano, the arrangement of it all makes it for a very, very beautiful song. And I think it does really carry well its title, entrancing. It really captivates you and grabs your attention right away, and you feel transported to this magical world. I was already like convinced that it is a fantastic song, but with that ending, I was just like, okay, I'm in love with this track. I love it a whole lot. Her vocals and the magical sort of instrumental just make it for a very like entrancing and comforting track that a lot of people will definitely enjoy. And even when you look at the lyrics, you can definitely sense that almost like impossible love, but in the Joseon era. Saying, I have a sweetened dream, a moment's dream, even if it crossed by a moment, don't let go of my hand, the scent of the arms that held me tightly, a handful of warmth of light in an instant, stayed on it, fully all alone, being breathless in a long, long night, even a whisper in my world that has lost its light. It's noisy here. I'll always hold you in my arms, an entrancing dream. Will I be forgotten when I open my eyes? It's so beautiful. It's really intense. Talking about intense, we have Winter, that is Handong's solo. And for this one, I really like the play on words right away because the characters in Chinese and Korean actually all read Han for the first one being cold, and then Dong being winter, cold winter. And right away with this song being cold winter, we listen to it and you have this R&B ballad that definitely brings a little bit of warmth, but it really feels like you are in the midst of winter as you are listening to it. It is an acoustic track ballad, and it does create a very cozy and very comforting environment. And she does end the song with an outro in Chinese, as she is originally. Do you say like that? Chinese? But I think it is beautiful that she added that here for this song, even if it is at the end and perhaps not a lot of people will notice. I still think it is really beautiful for her to honor her country and her mother tongue and use it in a song that she has co-written and co-composed herself. In the lyrics, she says, "Someday I saw you for a little while. It looked good. I'm very used to it. I feel unfamiliar. Under the stars in midwinter, drunken by the cold breath, I miss you even more. So I say you're from me. I can't let you go. Write down the words you didn't say. Stopped in midwinter, our story." And I think it is a really nice solo done by Handong. Continuing on with the winter feeling that they have going on, we have Yoohyeon's solo called Fall. And this track really feels like it is a Christmas song. It has this very old jazz bar vibe going on for the instrumental. It is an all English song and it feels also very timeless. Her vocals are really warm, really sweet, and she just is describing a very heartwarming romance, especially as she says, "Started in your eyes, sun in your smile, the way you look at me, it makes me, I call it a love song." And it's really, really stunning. I was definitely not expecting this type of song from her, but I think she pulls it off beautifully. And the fact that this song has this very like timeless appeal to it makes it for a very, very strong release from Yoohyeon as her solo. And I'm really impressed that she sang an all English song, especially as she has written, also actually co-written and co-composed the track. there are two remaining solos, and actually the order of the solos in this album, if I'm not mistaken, by the oldest to the youngest member of the group. And so far, with every single solo, we had various different genres and approaches, and I think that it really goes to show how versatile the group is. And because all the members have different styles that they enjoy to perform, it's only natural that when you look at the B-sides of Dreamcatcher, they can all pull off various genres because of how different the members are. The next one is Beautiful, and it is Dami solo. I did really enjoy this song because it has definitely some like heavy punk rock influences. It feels like it is this sort of teenage anthem of some sorts. It feels very confident, and it feels also like it is like that Disney style pop rock sound that was really popular in the Demi Lovato, Selena Gomez, Miley Cyrus days in Disney. So I did really found that side to her song as well, and I did really enjoy it. I was a big Disney fan when those three were part of it, Jonas Brothers as well. So it's only normal that I sort of felt a little bit nostalgic about this song as well. I did really enjoy it, and with her lower tone, it really went well with the electric guitars and just the overall vibe that she set. Plus, it is a very confident song, like I said. In the lyrics for the chorus, she says, "Dance however I want, shout it out as much as I want, don't look at me and smile. No matter what anyone says, we won't stop. Get, set, ready, go." So I do think that it has a really great vibe, especially for the live performance. She was wearing a backpack and what seemed to be like a school uniform. So it's really in that mood of feeling very rebellious and wanting to be whatever you want and just doing you and being like very confident about it all. And I think it is definitely a song that a lot of fans can relate to, no matter at what stage of their lives they're at right now. So now, last but not least, we have the last song on this album, that is Playground, and it is done by Gahyeon, the maknae of the group. And I thought that this song, being very bright, very uplifting, is definitely the happy ending of this album, especially in contrast with the first few songs that we talked about. The contrast is so freaking high, it's like night and day. But it's really nice because it's not like just their message overall is just gloom, bleak. No, they actually end it all in a hopeful note, and that I appreciate a whole lot. This song is a very retro pop track, it has a really fun brass and bass, and having a song called Playground, of course we can expect a very playful track. Especially for this one, she's expressing the light of her innocence and the fun memories of her childhood. Same for the chorus, "Do you want to draw it again? Draw my playground, paint the grey space, whatever you want. Do what you want to refill it again. Draw my playground. I'm getting young at this moment. I feel so comfy." And like I was saying before, this is definitely a nice end for this album and a very bright and uplifting one, especially when you know that we started this album with a very dramatic and pessimistic view on the future, and so that I did really enjoy. So overall for me, this album is another great album from Dreamcatcher. I must say it's not really up to par with their first full-length album, Dystopia, which was the first one from their Dystopia series. That one just has a special place in my heart. However, this one is still nonetheless a great album. I must say it does feel like it is two mini albums coming together in creating this full-length album, but I do understand that with 7 solos it's difficult to separate it and have just a mini album full of solos. It doesn't make that much sense. All the solos have very distinctive styles and they can all pull off really well, and they have their own unique color and styling, which I freaking love. And I'm losing my voice again. And yeah, I had a blast listening to this album. It is like 45 minutes of songs, but they go by so freaking fast because of how good all of the songs are in this album. So I had a blast. So yeah, guys, that is pretty much it. Now it is your turn. So in the comments down below, what did you think about this album? Which song is your favorite? Which solo is your favorite? I really want to know every single thing in the comments down below. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching this video until the very end. I have to stop now because otherwise I will lose my voice and tomorrow I have to go back to work. And in the meantime, I hope you stay well, stay healthy, and I hope I will be seeing you in my next one. Bye!